Hey everybody, welcome to summer. I'm so excited to be back to give you a couple of great book reviews. I've been reading a whole lot, but I haven't really had time to post any. But I had to post on what I'm reading right now. I'm about halfway finished with it, and I just felt compelled to tell you about it. It's called From the Cradle to the Stage. It's by Virginia Grohl, Dave Grohl's mom, Jenny. Let me just tell you, first of all, I love Dave Grohl. He loves teachers, and he loves his mama. What's not to love about him? Plus, he's a pretty hard rocker. I like that. So what she does is Virginia Grohl tells the stories of these young superstar musicians and what their mothers or their families went through. So she interviews the mothers of some big-time celebrities: Dr. Dre's mom, Michael Stipe, Amy Winehouse, Mike D, Geddy Lee, Gary Clark Jr., Kelly Clarkson, Miranda Lambert, Dave Matthews, Zach Brown, and there are several others. And she just talks to them about what it was like to have that kind of prodigy. And a couple of stories that really stick out with me was Geddy Lee. A couple of things that I did not know. First of all, Geddy Lee is the lead singer of Rush. His name was actually Gary Lee, but his mother is from Poland, and her accent, it came out Getty, Getty. And so he actually changed it. And just a couple of side notes on that. I have been crying. It was super sad. She is actually from Poland, and she was in Auschwitz, and she survived the Holocaust and brought her family to Canada, where they lived, and raised this wonderful family and this wonderful musician. So I thought that was a story I had never heard before, so that was amazing. Talked to Miranda Lambert's mom. Her parents were actually private investigators, and they actually investigated the case of Paula Jones with Bill Clinton, so I thought that was very interesting. But the one theme that I'm halfway finished, and the one theme that I keep seeing as a teacher is these kids were not successful at school. They didn't like school. They didn't want to do well. Not that they weren't smart. They just had other things. And I'm feeling, as a teacher and a librarian, I just feel that we really need to make sure that these kids that are showing that success at different things besides education, that we really foster that. And I feel that as a librarian, I get to do that because I just want to put anything in their hands to make them see who they are in whatever I can. I just really think as teachers, we need to really look at fostering the gifted children, not just in education, but whatever their loves are. She also interviewed Gary Clark Jr.'s mom. That's a fun story. I just have to tell you, I love this story. I love her talking about it. She has talked to Bev Cobain, and she does go back and forth with little stories about Kurt. But she doesn't want to share his story. But she does tell fun little stories about Kurt, and just kind of how he was kind of the same way as all the rest of these kids. Talented as a musician, just what their parents went through to make sure that these kids were successful. And I think we're all like that with our own children. I think we'll do anything for our children, but I think that we've got to learn to foster who our kids are. You can't change them. We're not going to change them. I love who they are. Embrace it. And I feel that, and I love Virginia Grohl because she was an English teacher. She loves education, and I know it was really hard for her son, not to like school. So I appreciate her honesty with this and her story, and it's just amazing. Another fun story was about Mike D, Beastie Boys. His mom was an art collector, so kind of hoity-toity. But anyway, it just kind of talks about how she'll end up at his shows. This little Jewish woman at his shows is hard rocking. He's playing all kinds of crazy stuff. They were crazy back when they first came out. But I absolutely love this book. Anyone will love this book. And the thing is, if you don't like kind of the story that she's telling, there's been a couple of stories I've been like, skip the page. You're still going to get the gist of the whole book, and plus you're just going to get to listen to who you really like. So I hope you go out and get From Cradle to Stage by Virginia Grohl. It's a must read.